Welcome back. This is the third video in the Web Design for Beginners course, which is held at the University of Hertfordshire. It's a short course, and in this video we're going to be looking at div tags. Now, we previously looked at some basics and tables, and now with the div tags we're just going to go over inserting a div tag and looking at its properties. And then we'll insert a few more. You can see how they interact. Div tags, it's so important you get their widths correct, and the position at which they're inserted is also really vital. They are very precise, and they will act up if basically they don't if they're not inserted in the right place. So let's get on with this and insert a div tag. So there are a couple of ways of doing that. You can do it from the layout object at the top, insert a div tag, or you can select the shortcut here. Looks like a little newspaper page. Insert div tag will do it there. Now, it will insert it where the cursor is on your page. It's really important to remember. Div tags appear where your cursor is. Now, sometimes your cursor may appear to be in one place, especially if you've got lots of layers, when actually it's not. So you insert it and the div tag will pop up, and it will look like it's somewhere else on the site, maybe below it or behind it or to one side. Undo it and then try and insert it again in the same place. You will have created the class, so you can just select the class on the menu. You can see here, when you insert a div tag, the first thing that pops up is a small box, insert your div tag. Now, from here, you can select the class if you've created it already, but we haven't. So what we're going to do is we're going to create the class, and we're just going to call it main body. Now, you can't use any spaces in the titles for these particular classes, so I tend to separate the words with capitals so I can see what they say. Now, rather than pressing OK, do not press OK. You can select new CSS. You should select new CSS style because we're creating a new style. When it comes through to this new rule section, this new menu, it basically confirms everything that we need. Now, it's asking to do it in a new style sheet. Now, ordinarily you would, but just so we can insert this div tag quickly, we're going to put this document only. Ordinarily, because div tags are bracketed within your CSS coding, which is an important part of your page, you've got HTML and CSS code. They're the two basic forms of code which exist within your website to begin with. It wants to create a place to store all these wonderful styles that you create in your style sheet. Now, because you want all your pages to access that information. But because we're just doing it on this video, we're going to just do it on the style sheet, on this document only. So it'll embed it within the main HTML code only on this page, and no other page will be able to access it. So we'll do within this document. Okay, so you then get a definition ruling page for your CSS rule. Okay, so this is where you're defining what it is that you're inserting into your web page. And we're going to insert a box, a 400 width pixels by 400 height. So you can see that I've selected box in the category on the left hand side. I'm going to float it left, so it's up to the left hand side, and I'm going to click OK. So I have created a physical shape there, which I'm going to click OK. Now, you can't click apply and have any effect if the item hasn't been inserted already, if the div tag hasn't been inserted. So you can click OK here, and then you can see this is a div tag. Now, it has a dotted outline. Now, you won't see that dotted outline. In fact, you won't see anything if you preview this, apart from the text which it inserts within the box, the div tag when it launches, and it kind of it's giving you a pointer basically. You can change in the preferences and stop this text from inserting, but it's quite handy to do. So we'll click that in there, and you can see here we have the div tag, and you can click the outside and select it. All right, now, it doesn't appear in the properties bar so much. The information for your div tags, because it's CSS style, will appear on the right hand side, and the properties for the main body div tag, which you can see here over on the right hand side, it's 400 height by 400 width, and it's floated to the left. Okay, so we can alter a div tag. We can because it's selected, we know it's the current div tag. You can see here, this is the current one. You can change the width and the shape of these div tags by selecting the property element in that properties bar there. You can see there that's changed over on the left hand side, and we can do the same again. We'll make it a square again, 500. Now you can add properties here, and there are loads of properties you can add. There's a little drop down menu, and we're not going to add it there. What we'll do instead is, because we know we've selected, and it says here properties for main body, we'll select the edit style pen, which is there. And what that does is it brings up the previous menu that we used to create this CSS style. And here, what we can do is we can affect it again. We can change the background color. We'll change that to green. You can see there that's the background option in the category on the left hand side. Click apply. It changes the background color to green. We can change the type, so we can do font size 36 and click apply. Remember, apply, we're applying to something that's already there, so we can preview what it's like, and if we don't like it, we can actually cancel that, so all the changes won't have any effect. Okay, we can change the font style if we want to. Let's change it to Arial, apply, and let's go back down to the box. Now, one of the things that's quite handy about div tags is you can add margins in and padding and give space around the div tag. So we could add a margin, and we're going to do that. And now we could add a margin all the way around, so 20 pixels width all the way around, because the same for all box is ticked there. I didn't untick it, and you'll see that it moves the object out into the middle of the table. Now, when you click on it and you highlight it, and the border gets highlighted, you can see here that the margin that we added all the way around is cross-haired, is cross-hatched. So you can see here it's been highlighted. You can't see it ordinarily, but if we select it again, you can see where the margins are, which is a particularly handy thing. And over here in the CSS properties for your div tag, you can see that there are additional properties added to that list of assets that we had previously seen, which was only 3 before, but now it's got a lot more involved. So what we can do is go back into edit that. We'll select the little pen. We'll move off the we'll click the save for one. We'll get rid of the margin and apply, so it pops back up there. And then what we'll do is we'll tick that same for all off, and we'll add a margin on the left and apply, so it moves into the page a bit more. We can add some padding. Now padding adds to the inside of the div tag. So if I add 10 in there and apply, you can see it grows. Okay, because when you add padding, it's not like with tables where the width absorbs the padding and the space within gets smaller. Let me just click this. Okay, just pause for 1 minute. That's fine. Close that. Okay, so when we add padding, it adds 10. So if it's 10 padding to the top and to the bottom, so that's 20 in total. It add it to the height. So now that div tag is equivalent to 520 pixels high. And if we go to the width as well, the width is now 520. And if we wanted that to remain 500 in width, we'd have to reduce these down so that it basically accommodates the padding. All right, now the padding pushes the text off the inside of the box, and that's really what we want. You don't want to see text up to the edge of a box. It looks very unprofessional. Click OK. So what we can do here is we will delete the text, and you can see the cursors in the top left-hand corner there. What we're going to do is we're going to insert another table. Sorry, not a table. We're going to insert a div tag. So we go up here, and we're going to create another one. It's called inside text. So I'm labeling these depending on what I might put inside the particular box or position where they're at. So they're easier to understand, and if I need to use them later, I can select them from the menu. So we don't click OK. We click New CSS Style, and we're going to do it in this document only. And we're going to have a box, and we're going to do a width of 400 with a height of 200